Welcome you all, dear students. Now in the last class I explained the syllabus, what syllabus is there in the strength of material, that is 18CV32, and now from now onwards I will start the first module, that is simple stress and strains. Okay, and in that one introduction, if you see here something I wrote here, that in civil engineering structures we frequently encounter. In civil engineering structures, we frequently encounter structural elements such as tie members, cables, beams, columns, and struts subjected to external actions called forces or loads. These elements have to be designed such that they have adequate strength, stiffness, and stability. Here, what they are going to say here is, in the nutshell, that in civil engineering we have many structures. See, in civil engineering we have many structures. Now the question comes here, what is the meaning of structure? What is the meaning of structure? What is the meaning of structure? Structure is a member or system of members, or it is a group of members. Structure is a member. If it is only one stick, that is also a structure. If something is made up of many sticks, this is also a structure. Okay, means a structure is a member or group of members in arranged such a way that they resist the loads applied on them. You can note it down, pause the videos, and you can make a definition of what is structure. Structure is a member or group of members arranged such that they resist loads coming on that structure, loads applied on the structure. Okay, and opposite to this word we have one more word that is called as a mechanism. We have mechanism. Mechanism is a dead opposite to the structure. Mechanism is also a group of members in arranged such a way that it will not resist any load applied to that. For example, this structure is there. Here I will give some pin support, here I give pin support, here I will give pin support, here also pin support. Then when I push it a little, then it will collapse like this. It will collapse. Means this structure is not able to take the load, or otherwise this structure will not resist the external loads applied. But this, here it is welded, here it is welded, here it is welded, here it is welded. Then if I apply some load, this will resist that load. Okay, if a resistance is offered, that is called as a structure. If a resistance is not offered, continuous deformation takes place for the external load, then that is called as mechanism. Okay, now here they said that in civil engineering, structures means which carry some load. We frequently encounter structural elements. Then structural elements means what? Here some examples are there. Tie members. Tie members means some trusses. I think you might have seen this one. Okay, in some area you might be seen some trusses here. Okay, these are called as trusses. These trusses, when I apply some load to this one, then here all the member will carry some forces. All the member will carry some forces. If that force is purely tensile in nature, then that is called as a tie member. And in opposite way, I can say that if any member is carrying a purely compressive force, then that member is called as a strut. Tie is a member which carries axial pure tensile, and strut is also a member which carries axial compressive force. Then cables you already know. Even in first year also you might be solved many problems carrying some load here and some load here, some load here. Such problems you have solved. and this is a cable, this is a cable, this is a cable. And beams means in civil engineering structures you will be seeing concrete beams are there. Even if it is a steel structure, there also you will see. What is beam? It is a horizontal member supported by two columns, or otherwise supported by some other supporting that structures, and this is a horizontal member, and which carries transverse loads. Very important. Which carries transverse loads means perpendicular to the member they will carry some loads, that is called as beams. And columns, these are vertical members. Columns are vertical members. And struts, here I explained, strut, it is a opposite to the tie member, means here which carries a pure compressive force. And these members are there, these elements will subject to external action. They will subject to external action. External action means what? The forces. The forces may be in a linear form, the force may be in a rotational form, that is a moment or torque. And loads may be a dead load, means with respect to time it will not change its position, that is a dead load, or the self weight of the material, or like that. And some other loads like live load, they will be continuously moving here and there. Some loads are there. Okay, means any civil engineering structure, they carry some external loads, that is there might be a forces or loads. Okay, and here in this subjects what we are going to study is whether that structure, whether this structure, whether this structure, whether this structure, or whether this structure is adequate, that have a adequate strength, question mark. Whether this materials, these structures have a strength, question mark. Whether that structure is a stiff, whether that structure is stable. These three questions we need to ask again and again when we build a structure. Whether that is strengthy, or whether it is stiffness, the stiff member, or whether that is a stable. Okay, that we need to check. To understand this one, we have this subject that is called a strength of material. Okay, now you can see the diagrams here. The weight suspended by two cables causes stretching. Stretching of cables. Cables are axially tension. Now see here, one rope is there, here one rope is there, some load is hanging here, and because of that some stress will be created here, some stress will be created. And here they said that the cables will have always axial stresses. The cables will have always axial stresses only. And in the second diagram you can see that inclined members undergo shortening and stretching will be induced in the horizontal member and inclined members are axially compression and horizontal members are axially tension. Might be now in this diagram they may be whatever they made, that is right, but it's not need not like inclined members are axially compression and horizontal members are axially tension. That all depends on how you are applying loads and all. Okay, here you can see that the support is very important. Here this is a hinge one, here hinge and here hinge, and the member earlier it was with a thicken line, and when I apply some force, because of the force, the dotted line you can see here, it will this member has reduced its length, and this member is also reduced its length. Why? Because the load is applied here. Okay, such cases also we will study in the strength of material. Sometimes you might be seen one plate is kept like this, another plate will be kept like this, there will be some hole is made and they will put some nut and bolt systems here. Okay, to make it tighten, some nuts and bolts they will put it here. If a huge amount of force is applied here and here, if it is pulled, then this nut may break out. That nut may break out and this joint may collapse. Then to not happen that this, even though if I apply a huge amount of stress, this nut should not break, then what should be the strength of this nut? Okay, that I need to check, and that also we are going to study here. Okay, here I explained with the two plates connection. Even sometimes a three plate may be connected with a nut and bolt system. Okay, then also when you pull this side and this side, then obviously there will be huge amount of stress created in the nut bolt, and that you need to understand whether that nut bolt is stable to carry that load or not, whether that is strengthy or not, whether the structure is stable or not, whether the structure is stiff or not, that you need to understand. Coming to some beams, cantilever beams, some wall will be there. Inside the wall you will put some chajja, chajja you already know, and some balcony will be there. Like that, some wall will be there. From the wall concrete, that slab will come out, and this will be hanging because it is just fixed here and no support provided somewhere, and just you will put some amount of load here, or so you put some material and all. Then when you apply some material, these all material, whatever that load is applied, that will be resisted in the wall because no one is holding it down. Okay, in opposite direction no one is holding it. Therefore, when I apply a load to this cantilever, then how it will bend? See, initially it was like this, and after application of the load it came to this position. Means how much it is deflected, what how many mm's it is deflected, and what shape it is exactly taking. Okay, that also we need to study. And here you can see, the earlier it was a straight member, and here some twist is applied here. Here it is twisted like this. When it is twisted like this, then what resistance will be offered by this fixed bar, that we are going to study. Okay, and after that, the columns, when you apply some forces here, it will bend. Okay, it will bend, might be in this direction, or in this shape, or in this shape, depending on the material property, depending on the load applied. Okay, this also we are going to study. Okay, this is all introduction to strength of material. You can read it again. In civil engineering we have many types of structures. We frequently encounter structural elements, of course, and structural elements are like tie members, cables, beams, columns, struts, etc. And these members will definitely get some forces and loads on them, and when these loads and forces are applied on the structural elements, whether they are strengthy, whether they are stiff, whether they are stable, that we need to check. Okay, to understand this strength, stiff and stability of the material, of the structure, we have introduced this subject, that is your strength of material. This is a introduction part of strength of material. Now coming to, you already know, I think in first semester also you might be heard this one, and even in PUC or in diploma you might be heard this one, that what is the meaning of stress. Stress is very important. Say for example, if I give you about 50 questions and I ask you to write this and submit assignment today evening, and these 50 questions are very tough, and if you do not submit this one in the evening, then I am going to shoot you. If this is the task, then surely you will be under lot of stress. You say like that, sir, I am getting a lot of stress because you gave a large amount of assignment and a very little amount of time you are giving. Therefore, you are under stress. Okay, stress means what? Then you should feel like this is the feeling as a human being. If this is the assignment and this is the definition of the stress what I explained till now, then you might be feeling that the stress is a feeling generated from inside. It will be generated inside. Then what it does, it resists that program, that it resists. When you have a lot of stress, then you resist the assignment. Sir, I don't want to do it, or otherwise you get pain in the head, and these all things you will get in the real-time stress, that is your feeling type of stress. The same thing will happen in the material also. The material is there like this, and this material is pulled this way. This material is pulled like this, and when this material is pulled, and here some compacted here this material is made up of some compacted elements, and they are all welded, or they are all gummed here, and they are all stick to each other. When I pull here, they will not separate each other. Say for example, if I take some amount of soil and if I pull that one, then it will be easily separates, all particles easily separates, but it will not happen in terms of iron or steel. Okay, when you pull a steel this side and this side, if these particles will not separate easily, then what they do inside when I pull this one? They resist the external force. The inside, because of the some bonding between the particles, that bonding they will resist some load here. I apply some force here and they start resisting the load. Okay, that resistance offered by the body, for the external force is called as stress. The resistance offered by the body for the external force is called as stress. You can write it the definition: resistance offered by the body for the external force is called as stress. Okay, now to understand what is the meaning of simple stress. Simple stress means if this heading is a simple stress, means there will be somewhere a complicated stress also, no? Yes, you are right. Complex stress is also there, shear stress is also there, and many types of stresses are there. Many type of resistance can offer from the body. Okay, now, but here what we are studying is simple stress. Okay, here something it is written, see here, that is consider the suspended bar of original length L0. Here one bar is suspended. Suspended means it is hanging to the floor and it is freely suspended, and its length is L0 and uniform cross section A. Its cross sectional area is A. It might be a rectangular area or circular, I don't know, but its area might be, cross sectional area might be A. With the force which is pulled by a force P applied to its end as shown in the following figure. Here I am applying some force here and I am pulling this one. It is pulling it down. When I pull this one, it will not come out. Why? Initially it will start resisting. When I pull this one, initially start resisting. That resistance offered inside can be drawn this way. Here I will take one section and I will go inside and watch what is happening inside. The inside what it is happening is, when I pull this force P downwards and some particles, they are resisting that force in the upward direction. Then this resistance is for the entire cross sectional area. If this is a cross sectional area, then the entire cross sectional area is offering that resistance. Therefore, and one more very important thing is, the sum of all these resistance will be equal to the applied load P. Then I can name it as a stress and define it as a load applied and sectional area, cross sectional area or resistance offered by the material throughout that cross section, that is called as a stress, and the stress is denoted by sigma. This word is very important. Sigma is a notation and it is denoted by sigma. Okay, now what might be the unit of stress then? What will be the unit of stress? How we need to measure? You already know that force is a one external agent, and this force is denoted by an arrow. And it will be having one tip and one tail. And in front of the tail or here they will write some magnitude. It might be a 5 kilonewton. Then 5 is what? It's a magnitude, and magnitude is expressed in terms of kilonewton because it is a force. If this is a somewhat mass, then I can say that 5 kg. Kg is a unit which is explaining you what is the meaning of this 5. Okay, like that. Area, then if it is some area, then how the area will be measured? Area might be 50, and this 50 area will be measured in terms of meter square, because this side is a meter and this side is a meter, and therefore it is a meter square. Now the stress is a sigma, and sigma is measured in terms of force divided by area. Then force unit is a Newton and area unit is meter square. Therefore stress unit is Newton per meter square. Okay, now this is a standard unit. This is an international standard unit. You need to remember that. Then what is this Newton per meter square? Newton per meter square Another name for this one is a Pascal. This is the scientist name who invented this Newton per meter square, who gave this name Newton per meter square. Therefore, we will call this as a 1 Newton per meter square means 1 Pascal. 1 Newton per meter square is 1 Pascal. If the magnitude is very huge, then I can call like it is 1000 Pascal. Then instead of saying 1000 Pascal, every time these 3 zeros are the 4 decimal point the digits I need to write. To avoid that one, I can say this as a kilopascal. Then 1000 Pascal means what? Kilopascal. See, this 1000 I replaced and wrote here kilopascal. Like that, if I have a million, okay, 6 digits are there and Pascal, and this 6 digits every time if I want to write, it takes a time. Therefore, I can call it as a megapascal. This is a megapascal. Means mega means 10 raised to 6. Pascal is a Pascal. And even sometimes it is a billion. Like that, 9 zeros. 9 zeros are there. This one I can call it as a gigapascal. Gigapascal. Here giga means what? 10 raised to 9 Pascal. Okay. These are very, very important units for stresses. Kilopascal, megapascal, gigapascals are very important units to measure the stress. Sometimes, and very important term what we use here is megapascal. In all strength of material, I will be using MPa. MPa means it is a megapascal. Megapascal means you already know that it is a 10 raised to 6 Newton per meter square. And see here, I will do one magic. That is 10 raised to 6 is there. Now I will take it downside. Then this becomes 10 raised to minus 6 Newton per meter square. Now I didn't do anything. Just I am rearranging the terms and writing. Now what I do, Newton per 10 raised to minus 3 whole square is meter square. See, the same minus 6 I wrote it in different form. Then here I can write Newton per, this 10 raised to minus 3 means what? Milli. Therefore milli square and meter square. Therefore I can call it as a millimeter square. Means from this I got a conclusion, very, very, very important conclusion I got, that is 1 MPa. 1 MPa is nothing but 1 Newton per mm square. This is a very, very important conclusion. 1 MPa is 1 Newton per mm square. Okay, now these are units of stresses. In some textbooks even you can have a units of stresses, some other like a ton per meter square, kg per meter square, okay, or Newton per centimeter square, kg per centimeter square. These are also units of stresses, but these are very important. kPa, MPa, GPa or Newton per mm square. These are the standard units we are measuring here in civil engineering. Okay. Thank you very much. In the next class we will study about the strain concepts and all. Okay. We will end this lecture here. Thank you, one and all.